tree that we are launching right now. You are the first ones to be able to see it. Normally at retail, when a manufacturer makes a bigger, fuller tree, they often tend to skimp on how much of the plastic tips that they'll use, the molded tips, or they'll skimp on the number of lights just to try to keep the cost down. Bethlehem Lights, they don't know how to skimp on anything. They never have, they never will. We are celebrating our 20th anniversary with our friends at Bethlehem Lights. These are real Christmas trees, meaning it is an incandescent bulb, it's not an LED. They are cool to the touch. They have technology where if one of them does happen to get broken or burn out, all the others stay lit. You do get spare bulbs, you get spare fuses as well. And right now, I've got a series of different sizes for you. I have a 5-foot tree that has 250 lights on it for $229. A 6.5-foot tree, doubling the lights at $500. That's unheard of. The 7.5-foot tree has 750 lights on it. And then when we go to this 9-footer, which is just massively beautiful, that has 1,000 lights on it, but there are only 24 of them in my inventory. This is the Christmas white, and here's the multicolor. They're fantastic. I want to introduce you to, again, a very special person. Couldn't do a single Christmas show without her. She is one of our representatives from Bethlehem Lights and a dear, dear friend. Rachel Pavis, how are you today?
Hello, Dan. I'm doing so great. Thanks for having me on your show.
You and I have always agreed on this. You know, pencil trees became popular a few years ago. But, you know, Christmas needs to be chunky, okay? I don't want a slim, fast Christmas tree. I want a big, thick, fluffy, fat Christmas tree. And that's what you brought us. This is one of the biggest trees you've ever done for us in terms of circumference.
That's right, Dan. And you said it. Bethlehem Lights tries to bring in one full-size tree each season. And every year they do new improvements that make it better and better. So I love this tree. Like you said, it's big, it's chunky. It's that full-size tree that we absolutely love, especially for our main tree. If you have space for it elsewhere, that's great too. But I love that the 5-foot tree is 40 inches in diameter. That's bigger than 3 feet in diameter. So even your 5-foot is nice and wide and chunky. This is the 7.5-foot. And this one is 61 inches in diameter. And like you mentioned, with 750 lights, that's huge. It's so well lit, incandescent lighting. And so Bethlehem Lights, they pride themselves on beauty. They want a tree that's going to be lush and gorgeous. They do that incandescent lighting. And then in addition to that, all the lights are hand strung, so you don't see any of the wires. But then there's also that ease of use stand, so that it's easy to set together. And that's because it has that ready shape technology. The power is in the pole. And then they use that really sturdy gauge memory wire too.
I want to speak to a minute to those individuals, and my father was one of them. Last year at Christmas time, he said, you know what, I'm not putting up a tree. It's so much work. Well, it isn't that much work. This 5-foot tree is almost the thickness of what most 7-foot trees are at retail at the base. And with 250 lights, if you put this on a table, it fills a room. You did a videotape earlier, Rachel, to show just how easy it is to set these trees up. With no exaggeration, you can set up this Christmas tree in any of these sizes. The 9-foot will take you a couple more minutes, but you can set these up in less than 2 minutes. Take a look at the video.
Hi, I'm here to show you how to set up your Bethlehem Lights tree because it's super easy. This is a full-size tree. You get the stand with it, and this is a self-leveling stand, which makes it so your tree stands nice and vertical for you. And what you want to do at the start is you're going to open it up, and then you set down your stand, and then you put your pieces together. Now, each of the pieces are labeled, so you're going to start with the first section, which is labeled as Section A. So what you're going to do is you're going to set this into the stand, and then you'll see all of your branches come out. And you'll see you have one eye bolt here. You just have to tighten that bolt there. Now I want to take a moment to mention that all of the branches are hinged and the wire lights go in and out on the tree. There's also a foot pedal here that helps you to turn on the tree. Next, I'm going to take section B, and you're going to see here on the tree there is a notch out of the pole, and what that does is I'm going to line that up with a notch on the second section. And as I set my section on, it slides into place and all the lights come on. This is section C. It's labeled right there on the pole. I'm going to find where that notch is on the top. I'm going to set it in there and it slides into place and all of your lights come on. Now you'll notice that the first time you get this out of the box, you may need to arrange the branches and fluff them a little bit, but then you're done. Look how beautiful and realistic your tree will be once it's all decorated too. Happy holidays.
See, again, did you see how simple that is? Now, I've known Rachel for many, many years. She has absolutely no upper body strength. I'm just kidding. Even on the 9-foot tree, the largest section is still really, really manageable. I couldn't help but get a little dig in there, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, that is the 7.5-foot tree that I was putting together, Dan. And you're absolutely right. Like, I'm not a very strong person. So for me to be able to do the 7.5 by myself is huge, because my husband doesn't always have time to be able to help me and when I'm setting up my tree. So I love that I can do this by myself.
Well, when I was a little kid, the setting up of the Christmas tree was actually the most dramatic part of the holiday decorating, because my dad always did it. And he would have to string lights, and you'd always have one strand that half the strand wasn't working. And all of that stuff has been taken care of by the true leaders in the Christmas industry. Bethlehem Lights has been with us here at QVC for 20 years, 2 decades. And they are and will continue to be a commercial lighting company. The trees that they make weren't designed for our living rooms. They were designed for showrooms and retail establishments. And a lot of their outdoor lighting was for large cities for their outdoor displays. They create their own lights. That's really important. You're getting not just a Bethlehem Lights tree, you're getting Bethlehem Lights lights. You'll also notice how many of these molded tips there are on the tree. You can't have a better designer of a Christmas tree than Mother Nature. And look how you can see the brown. That would be like this, the twigs, and then the softness of that fur. They're stunning. They are absolutely one of the greatest examples of what a high-end Christmas tree can be. Now, I will say this. You can find Christmas trees for less money, but the Christmas tree is the focal point of your entire holiday decorating scheme. They give you a 5-year warranty. How many manufacturers out there give you a 1-year warranty on a Christmas tree? And by the way, when they do that, they're saying, we hope it lasts the month of December. Because by the time you put it in a box and put it in the attic or down in the basement and then pull it out again for the second Christmas, the warranty is gone. Bethlehem Lights has a 5-year warranty on their trees because they know the quality is better. Rachel, I've never been disappointed with anything that you folks have made, but this tree in particular, I think, is probably the most lifelike that you've ever brought to us.
Dan, it is such a gorgeous tree. And one of the things that Bethlehem Lights does that's really important is they have commercial light technology. Now, in the past, without commercial light technology, if one of your bulbs were to fall out, you would lose the strand. So I want you to know that on this tree here, I actually took one of the bulbs out while you were talking. So I'm holding the bulb. You can see, I'm going to just hold that up to the camera right there.
Yep.
There we go. So that's on the bulbs. And I took it out of this branch right here, so you can see all of the lights around it are still lit. And that's the commercial light technology. To be able to bypass if one falls out is just huge. Nobody else does that out there in the marketplace. You're going to have these lights, you're going to have this tree for years to come, and you're not going to have to go out and buy new strands and try and replace the strands and that sort of thing. It works just beautifully.
There is one other thing. Because of the way these trees are manufactured, you're going to find that it feels like an old-fashioned Christmas. You know, real lights, incandescent lights, not LEDs. Rachel, I thank you so much for joining me in this program. I can't wait until this whole social distancing thing can go away and we can have you back out to the house, you and your hubby. I miss you. I really do. Thank you for being a part of the show.
I miss you too, Dan. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you.
Be well. That's it for me today, but I'll see you again very shortly. David Venable